Deep beneath the waves of the Caribbean, a stone city lies in wait. Its monumental limestone buildings are smothered by sand and sea life. It was once a great metropolis, home to thousands of people, but now it's just a ghost of its former self. The only evidence that it ever existed at all are the stones themselves, weathered and worn by centuries of wave action. Every year, new discoveries are made about this sunken city and others like it across the world. And each new find brings us closer to understanding how these civilizations lived, worked, and ultimately fell. Hi everyone, I'm your host, and you're watching this channel. Join me today as we explore shipwrecked civilizations, stones, stories, and the ocean's memory. The story of the sunken city began around 1,200 years ago. Around this time, the Maya civilization was flourishing in what is now Belize, Guatemala, and Mexico. It had been doing so for centuries. In fact, the ancient Maya civilization is considered to have begun around 2,000 years ago with the pre-classic period. They were known for their stunning architecture, impressive calendar systems, and advancements in mathematics. Their cities were works of art, often built around large plazas, with steep pyramids towering above them. But despite the splendor of the cities, the Maya way of life wasn't without hardship. Natural disasters such as droughts and changing weather patterns led to food shortages, which caused overpopulation in some areas. This eventually led to warfare between city-states. As resources became more scarce, entire regions were abandoned as people fled or were forced out by their enemies. One of these regions was the interior of what is now Belize. Between the 9th and 10th centuries, the people who lived there were forced to leave their homes and seek refuge along the coast. They brought their traditions and culture with them and quickly set about building a new life on the coast. They constructed large houses made from wood and thatch, built atop piles driven into the shallows of the Caribbean Sea. They also created ceremonial structures, platforms, and other buildings necessary for their daily lives. But they didn't just settle here. Instead, they continued to venture out into the sea, exploring the islands and inlets that dotted the horizon. It wasn't long before they discovered the offshore islands of what would become known as the Great Blue Hole. These islands were perfect for building, flat and surrounded by crystal clear water, so it's no surprise that the Maya settled there. They built large communities on these islands, which grew to house thousands of people. These settlements thrived due to their proximity to the ocean. The residents were able to take advantage of the rich supply of fish and other seafood in the waters surrounding the islands. They also grew crops such as cassava, sweet potatoes, and maize, which they supplemented with trade goods from other settlements. Life here was not without its challenges, however. Storms and rising sea levels occasionally inundated the islands, causing widespread flooding and destruction. But the people were resilient, and they rebuilt after each disaster, stronger than before. For centuries, the Maya people lived in relative peace on the islands, developing a unique culture that blended their traditional beliefs with those of the seafaring people they encountered on their travels. But this way of life would come to an abrupt end around the year 1000 AD. It is believed that a powerful storm surge and tsunami may have struck the islands, causing massive destruction and displacing thousands of people. Some historians believe that this natural disaster may have been the result of a once-in-a-millennium weather event, while others believe it could have been triggered by a magnitude 7.5 earthquake that struck nearby. Whatever the cause, the impact was devastating, okay? Entire villages were wiped out, their wooden houses reduced to splinters, and their crops and livestock washed away. Faced with starvation and disease, the people were forced to flee their homes and seek refuge elsewhere. Many headed south to what is now El Salvador, while others migrated north to the Yucatan Peninsula. The ones who stayed behind, however, did their best to rebuild their lives on the scattered remains of their former settlements. It was during this time that the stone houses and buildings we see today were constructed. Made from limestone quarried nearby, they were much more resistant to the elements than the wooden houses that came before them. They were built atop the ruins of the old settlements, using salvaged materials whenever possible. These buildings included large palaces, temples, and other public structures, as well as smaller homes and workshops. Despite the hardships they faced, the people of this settlement refused to be deterred. They rebuilt their lives and their communities, determined to make the best of their situation. But their new way of life was short-lived. Within a few decades, the entire region was abandoned again. This time it was due to the encroaching Spanish conquistadors. Fearing the destruction that had befallen other Maya settlements, the people packed up what little they had left and fled, leaving behind the only homes they had left. As the Spanish explored and colonized the Caribbean, they destroyed many of the remaining settlements, either burning them to the ground or tearing them down with pickaxes and hammers. The buildings that did survive were gradually swallowed by the jungle, their stones becoming overgrown with vines and roots. It wasn't until the 1970s that these submerged cities were rediscovered by modern man. Since then, archaeologists have been working to uncover the secrets of these lost civilizations. Today, the submerged Maya city is known as the Great Blue Hole. It can be found off the coast of Belize, near the center of the Caribbean Sea. The city is surrounded by a large natural lagoon known as the Belize Barrier Reef. This reef is one of the largest in the world and provides a home to a variety of marine life, including dolphins, turtles, and sharks. The city itself is divided into two parts, the mainland and the islands. The mainland is where the majority of the city's population lived. It contains large pyramids, temples, and other public buildings. The islands were mostly used for agriculture and fishing. The most notable feature of the Great Blue Hole is its size. At its largest, the city covered an area of more than 100 square kilometers. It contained more than 100,000 people. The city was also highly sophisticated for its time. It had a complex system of canals and causeways that allowed for easy transportation of goods and people. The city was also well planned, with the main buildings and temples aligned with the cardinal directions. The Maya people who lived here were experts in astronomy and used the stars to develop a sophisticated calendar system. They were also skilled mathematicians and developed a system of numbers that allowed them to keep track of time and make complex calculations. The Great Blue Hole has been studied for decades, but there is still much that we don't know about it. Archaeologists have discovered artifacts such as pottery, tools, and weapons that suggest that the Maya people were in contact with other cultures. However, the exact nature of this contact is unknown. We also know that the Maya people kept detailed records on their monuments, but these records were written in a language that we have not yet deciphered. This makes it difficult to learn about the history of the city and its people. Despite these challenges, archaeologists are making progress in understanding the Great Blue Hole. New discoveries are made every year that help us learn more about this lost civilization. In recent years, the Great Blue Hole has become a popular tourist destination. People from all over the world come to explore the ruins and learn about the Maya civilization. The Belize government is working hard to preserve the site and make it a UNESCO World Heritage Site. However, the Great Blue Hole is facing a number of threats. Rising sea levels are already starting to inundate the site, and erosion is causing the buildings to crumble. The Belize government is working with local communities to develop sustainable tourism practices that will help protect the site. As we continue to explore the Great Blue Hole, we will undoubtedly learn more about the Maya people and their culture. These ancient people were highly advanced for their time, and their accomplishments are truly remarkable. It is up to us to ensure that their legacy is preserved for future generations to enjoy. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends. Subscribe for more videos about lost civilizations